Considering the fact that YouTube just can't help itself from experimenting with AI, and shoving it into literally everything, what better time than the present to talk about a movie starring the one and only weird Al.
Paul McCartney.
I'm really sorry, I do sometimes.
If you don't already know who Weird Al is, well, then maybe you're the weird one, buddy. World famous parody musician, voice actor, maker of cinemas. Basically, Weird Al could shoot my wife and I'd still have a big fat jiggly smile on my face. In fact, between you and me, he'd actually be doing me a favor. One of the most fun things about Weird Al is that he can literally just show up in anything. He just loves being in things. And that's where Netflix steps in. Producers of some of the most unwatchable garbage of the modern era, and BoJack Horseman. Oh, how I love you, Todd. They're known for regularly scraping the bottom of the barrel for exclusive content like this bizarre kids soccer movie that stars Weird Al for some reason. What connection does Peculiar Alfred here have to the world of soccer exactly? I have no idea, and neither does this movie, so at least we're all on the same page. But just look deep into that surprisingly well-detailed soccer ball. What colors lie within? Yes, black and white. And what colors make up the greatest film of all time? Air Bud World Pup, if you put a black and white filter over it. That's right, black and white, motherfucker. Prepare yourselves for true cinema. The very concept of this movie fascinated me the second I found out about it, and my greatest hopes came true when this very normal movie about soccer begins with the fucking planet exploding. Very good. Now, some of you in my international audience may be thinking, well, okay, Ranny, you silly American, it's called football, not soccer. Look, I've watched 2004's Soccer Dog European Cup. I know a thing or two about Fockers and how to meet them, which coincidentally came out the same year as Soccer Dog European Cup. Okay, I'm lying. I don't know anything about football, whether it's American or otherwise, but I do know a goddamn awful title when I see one. The soccer football movie with the word football crossed out, but during the title card, it crosses out the word soccer instead? This has gotta be the worst, most confusing gimmick for a movie title I've ever seen in my life. You would think that one of the words being crossed out means it wouldn't actually be part of the true title, but when you look at it on Netflix, both of the words are in the title. Oh my god. Sorry to insult you, new Super Luigi U. I promise you did it better.
Yay.
This movie stars a bunch of people who aren't Weird Al that I do not recognize, but that's not gonna stop me from reviewing this thing. Do you know who the fuck Rob Stone is?
It's a stone!
No? Well, good. You're not allowed to know more than I do. I'm the YouTuber here. I'm just kidding. I love you. All I know is that I hate him in this movie, and he's a shitty announcer guy with a horribly oversized cranium. I also don't know anything about the football stars who appear in this thing, like this Crash Bandicoot-shaped gentleman, Zlatan. This guy cannot act for shit.
You got talent. Not Zlatan's talent, but still talent.
And I can't even blame him, he's a football man, so I can't necessarily expect him to be a good voice actor too. I'm sure he's excellent at kicking balls. But what I find really funny is how this Zlatan guy is portrayed. Like, he's so full of it that he refers to himself in the third person constantly. At the end of the day, he's shown to be a decent guy and he's one of the heroes and all that good stuff, but allowing yourself to be portrayed as this self-absorbed is certainly a choice. He even has soccer battles with literal children, like Setzer in Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh, that Setzer just loves beating kids into a bloody pulp. Thanks for the clip, Professor Gaming. So Rob Stone finishes interviewing Zlatan after his big game, and Weird Al is like also just hanging out there after all the crowds have already left for no explained reason. It's quite an accomplishment that the creators of this movie managed to snag one of the funniest, most charming guys on the planet and do absolutely nothing of note with him at all. The man is literally playing himself, and they still managed to completely fuck it up. In this universe, Weird Al is a genius scientist, a trained surgeon. Hell, he's even the mayor of the goddamn city because why not, I suppose? He's also obsessed with becoming a football all-star, as he and everyone else in the goddamn movie puts it.
I think the All-Star Cup All-Star of all All-Stars of all time will be me!
Again, for no reason that's explained whatsoever. There is no connection between Weird Weird Al and football outside of this movie, I would know. I just Control F'd his Wikipedia article. Now, all of this might sound hilarious as a concept, and it is, but I'm sad to say the cringe-inducing writing always manages to kill anything that could have even possibly been funny.
Then boom! Weird Al is the All-Star Cup All-Star of all All-Stars of all-time star of all-time star.
And I get it, Al being a surgeon and a scientist are references to some of his songs, but it just feels really shallow when you could have referenced any of his songs for a gag. He has so many, and yet they rarely do that at all. I highly doubt that the original concept for this movie was even factoring Weird Al as a character in the first place. It must have been just a weird coincidence where he just so happened to be available and was bored. At least they even managed to get him to voice in this movie. The final episode of Fairly Odd Parents couldn't even accomplish that. Not even at its peak. So clearly, Soccer Football Movie is objectively superior. But making completely out of character real life Weird Al as himself, the main villain of your soccer movie, isn't the only weird decision the writers made. It turns out that Weird Al, who's disguised as Mr. Enter in this scene's
obviously, this movie is a complete animated atrocity.
Evil plan is to release these radioactive slugs onto the town's most talented football all-stars. And because Zlatan is apparently a complete idiot, he trusts the evil radioactive slug until it growls at him once and turns him into a mutant. Thank Christ the Redeemer and Rio de Janeiro, the main heroes of this story, just so happen to be these 4 little chudlings. 4 kids known as the Creature Catchers. They're basically Wish.com Ghostbusters, and I hate them very, very much. Whenever these kids are on screen, the movie goes from a below average kids movie to a cinematic abomination in an instant. This girl does nothing. This one has the worst design for a kid character in the history of anything ever. He looks like a disgusting mix of Mr. Incredible and Kronk. And he has such wonderful catchphrases.
Oh, snap.
I propose a juggle-off.
Double snap.
The Minecraft YouTuber over here has the most annoyingly vaguely Australian accent, or maybe that of an overgrown Victorian orphan.
Thank you so much.
I am so fucking sorry if that's the actor's actual accent. I have never heard anybody sound like this before in my life ever, and it's so grating.
Remember what Zlatan said?
God, please help me. And this last girl is the proud founder of the worst running gag in the history of animation. No, not just animation, film. The history of film. She just wants to take a selfie with her favorite football all-stars. OMG, she's so quirky.
Can I get a selfie?
She mentions wanting to take a selfie every time she's on screen.
Ah, can I get a selfie?
Can I take a selfie? Can I take like a fucking selfie? And she's on screen the most out of any of these horrible spawns of Satan.
Can I get a selfie?
Oh my god, can I take a selfie? Can I? Have you considered killing yourself? These children are homeless and live together in a trailer with 0 adult supervision. And yet they're somehow able to afford crazy futuristic gadgets and iPads that they use to capture evil creatures. I normally wouldn't care about any of these details not making sense, but when the characters are this atrocious, I'm gonna complain anyway. And it's such a lovely coincidence that these professional creature capturing children also happen to be obsessed with soccer. Dangerously so when it comes to this girl I can't even remember the name of.
5-second soccer break?
Oh, can we please play a quick game of soccer? I need my hit, bitch! These kids are so fucking cool, they can even recreate the gearing up sequence from Brazilian classic Ratatouille, this time with even less frames! As a proud owner of 3 copies of Ratatouille, I am so ecstatic to discover such an exciting new low in the world of animation. Now, Zlatan isn't our only named football star, we also have this lady I also don't remember the name of. I'm pretty sure it's Peppino, but I can't be too sure. Trust me though, the only reason I even remember Zlatan's name is because he will not let you forget. Zlatan! She can't act either.
You kids get out of here. It's too dangerous. This thing's out for blood.
But she does have the wokest dog I've ever seen in my life. Look at all that blue hair, and it probably has pronouns too. Imagine having those. A solid chunk of this movie consists of the creature catchers chasing down Zlatan and the also mutated other football lady to try and rescue them from the slugs that have turned them into horrible mutants. In every single scene, these kids are completely incompetent and do nothing. They're supposed to be epic monster hunters, and they can't even sell that remotely because every time time they have to face anything, they just stand there like idiots and they refuse to
Do something!
Whenever they actually manage to accomplish anything, it's by complete accident. You see, this selfie girl is so effing quirky, she carries a whoopee cushion with her wherever she goes. And wouldn't you know it, the fart sound from the cushion is the only thing that can revert the football all-stars back to their normal selves. I've sat through this goddamn movie multiple times now, and I guarantee you I've put more thought into this goddamn stupid plot than anybody who's actually involved with writing this fucking movie.
Yes, already. Jeez.
I'm gonna kill myself.
And as if this movie couldn't get any more gormless, Zlatan's ponytail can talk now. Because reasons.
Ah, a man bun? Anything but that.
Clearly, this is Tom Kenny's most iconic performance. At the very least, all this nonsense leads to the most watchable scene in the entire movie. Zlatan confronts evil scientist Mayor Weird Al, where he explains that the evil mutant slug has fused with Zlatan's ponytail again, and I can't emphasize enough. Because reasons. This scene manages to be at least somewhat watchable because, at the very least, these professional voice actors can manage to carry some really horrible dialogue just well enough. This scene also features the only well-done comedic bit in the entire movie. Yippee! Weird Al kicks Zlatan into his fireplace, and then he proceeds to kick him a second time, and there's a second fireplace right next to the first one. I gotta admit, that got a little chuckle out of me. Also, check out all that concept art on the walls, and now that's the mark of a solid budget and mounds of TLC being put into a project. Oh, and I should probably mention the slugs that turn people into mutants are all being used to extract the All-Stars' talents, so Weird Al can take it all for himself so he can become the goatsy of football or whatever the fuck he calls it.
The greatest all-star of all time. The Gassote, as it were.
I know you probably don't care about these details, but you're still here, aren't you? I gotta make sure this video is longer than Albuquerque at the very least. Come on, let's be reasonable here. I can only stare blankly at my big ears for so long. The horrible demon children managed to remove the slug monster from the lady footballer in a fight scene that gets way more cartoony than any other scene in the entire movie. Even more cartoony than the scenes featuring real-life cartoon character Weird Al somehow. Then we cut back to Al and Zlatan, the ponytail gets cut off and starts beating up Weird Al. Okay, and then Weird Al attaches it to his own hair somehow and he becomes the Arkham Asylum Joker. I seriously can't believe they made Weird Al, Weird fucking Al, an insane psychopath villain, and couldn't even manage to make any of his dialogue funny.
I feel so Zlatani.
It actually kind of makes me fucking angry. I'm not even joking. There is somewhere deep down, very deep down, a stupid but genuinely funny movie hidden in here somewhere. Maybe a couple dozen rewrites and the legalization of child murder could have saved it. But wait, now that the evil Al, has Zlatan's mutated ponytail, Zlatan has lost all of his football talent. Oh no!
Oh no, bro!
But fret not, dear viewers, for there is hope, because these 4 tiny children have what it takes to train Zlatan back to his former glory within just a few hours. What took Zlatan years, maybe even decades of hard work and training to achieve in the game of football to reach international fame could be retaught to him by 4 random dumbass children. How inspiring! And the montage is retro as heck for no reason, and You're the Best Around by Joe Esposito blares in the background. This, my friends, is why Shigeru Miyamoto invented movies. Okay, motherfuckers, it's time for the final showdown. Zlatan and the other one are back to normal, and mutated Weird Al has challenged our heroes to a game of the foot. We could think about how Zlatan was able to relearn all of his skills in mere hours, so now he and Weird Al are equally matched, destroying any and all potential tension, but let's not do that. It's what we here in the industry call a goddamn waste of everybody's time. Speaking of waste of time, the final soccer match. It's basically discount Space Jam with giant slug minion monster men. Do not let your middle-aged aunt find out about these guys.
Gassote!
And Weird Al keeps repeating this line because that's what comedy is now, I guess.
Gassote!
I really don't have much to say about this scene. It's pretty fucking boring, but this guy looks like a toppled Luigi amiibo. And this guy in the crowd is A-posing! I love you so much, A-posing man! Oh yeah, and this bit here made my buddy Renstar very upset. When mutated Weird Al is inevitably defeated via the power of friendship or whatever, he becomes deflated. This movie really wants to be Space Jam so bad. And do you remember what happens to the funny comedic relief man in Space Jam? That's right! Weird Al inflates too! I don't even have to make a Google Weird Al inflation joke. It's right here! How convenient for all you freaks watching me right now. Zlatan's mutated ponytail decides he's tired of working with Weird Al and detaches himself to become the actual main villain for the final battle. And he becomes a giant evil monster without explanation because, say it with me now kids, because reason! The design of this thing is genuinely creepy as fuck by kids movie standards anyway, and I nearly would have applauded the movie for that, but it's so unfitting for a movie as stupid as this one. This thing would look awesome in like that movie 9 or something. I don't know. I've never watched that movie, but it'd probably fit there a lot better than it does here. It honestly looks like it was imported from another unrelated, unfinished project or something. I sure as hell wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. The professional creature capturing kids actually fucking do something for once and manage to defeat the monster with little effort. Yeah, they just kick it with a soccer ball and poke it in the back once and it dies. Though Zlatan was going to kick a hole through the monster's gut anyways, so because this guy needs to be portrayed like a Greek god, the fight was pretty much pointless. And so, the mutant ponytail is defeated, Zlatan and even Weird Al are safe, the filmmakers focused way too long on this gross green goo. Ugh, I hate it, thanks guys. Then they all head back to where the homeless children hang out and play some football together because it's their entire personality. And Weird Al becomes the reformed villain who hangs out in the hub world and plays music for you to listen to in the post game. It's all happily ever after or whatever, blah blah blah, but uh-oh, there's still a mutated ponytail hair and it attaches to a stranger in the window. Yes, they had the balls to sequel bait this animated atrocity.
Sequel time.
I'm recording this while being rolled off to the ER as we speak. The movie manages to both troll the audience and end as thematically as it possibly could have at the same time, with a fart. But I do have to give the movie some major props. It does surprisingly give the audience a shockingly poignant message before the credits roll. Grubhub perks give you deals on the food you love. Zlatan is not real, he cannot hurt you, do not worry kids. That's the soccer, football movie, football, soccer movie, whatever, who gives a fuck. I went into this movie knowing it would be a total disaster, and I sure as hell wasn't disappointed on that front. It rides so hard on featuring football celebrities that only a very specific subset of the population are even going to know about. And none of them can even act. Hell, I was watching with a friend who's a fan of football, and they didn't even know who these people are. And worst of all, Weird Al is completely wasted. It's a shame because he's clearly putting his all into the performance. The writing just so happens to be complete poo-poo duty poo-poo pants. I'm an adult who makes a partial living on YouTube. I won't even blame him for deciding to star in this thing though. I hope he had a lot of fun and got a solid paycheck. I don't know how often I'll review train wrecks like this, but I kinda had to with this one. As somebody who's been listening to Weird Al's music for a large portion of her life, I just had to know what was up with this movie based on something he's never even shown any interest in whatsoever. Plus, none of the typical cartoon YouTuber video essayists managed to get to this thing before I did. This movie is complete balls. No pun intended, but I had so much fun watching it with my pals for this review. We had to watch this cinematic masterpiece multiple times to truly understand its intricacies. It was so taxing that one of my friends even ended up wanting to kill me. That's what cinema's all about, baby. I hereby declare this a film worthy of being added to the list. Movies to watch with your fat nephew on Letterboxd.